welcome back to the racing mower build. We've had a few parts arrive in the mail and we've thought about what I'm going to do and redesigned the whole rear axle. So let's get into it.
You see that bicep right there? I'm gonna...
Voila. Before we go any further and do any reassembly or welding on this, I'm just going to give it a pressure wash and some degreaser to get it nice and shiny so that it's nice and clean for when we put it all together. Alrighty guys, now we're going to start working on getting this hood secured in place, seeing as we've got sort of the rest of this all kind of coming together. So I'll find another piece somewhere, a bit of scrap metal, thread it through there, make it make it
today, Junior,
look a lot prettier. So let's start by just getting this off and then
and you're gone too far, cause you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money. It's a rich girl, but it's gone too far, cause you know it don't matter anyway.
This is Dan's unimig Viper. Got TIG, stick and MIG on this. Dan, you want to give us a bit of a rundown on the beast?
Don't you know that it's wrong?
The model down from the 185, so it's got a 10 amp plug. You can plug and play anywhere. Yeah, it does MIG, TIG and stick. It's got all your fancy inverter stick settings and synergic settings, you know, and for your TIG it's got 2T and 4T. You can do everything from 0.6 to 1.2 mil MIG wire. I've just got a little E-size argon CO2 on it. Got it from Total Tools.
Alrighty, this is it. Sitting on the mower, has not been welded to the hood yet. So, had these parts arrive. Got a few things, got the brake disc and rotor carriers, right, and sprocket and sprocket carrier. Got a throttle cable and a brake caliper and brake line. So that's really bringing this project together. These rotor carriers I got didn't come with the grub screw things to tighten them down. So I went to National Nuts and Bolts and bought some. But the heads on these were too fat. To fit through that gap. So I've just been belt grinding them down on the stand grinder and trying to grind them down to size. Alrighty guys, so I've just got the bolt rigged up in the drill here. Piece of cloth between the drill bit, between the drill chuck and the threads, so I don't crush the threads. And we're just spinning it on this stand grinder to try and bring that outer diameter down so that it'll fit through that inner diameter on the hub carriers. So just keep on grinding. You guys got them both grinded down and they now fit pretty snugly into there. So all good, now we can start mocking up our axle. Alright guys, this is a better look at the haul. So we have our drive sprocket and rotor carrier. Really nice. 30mm in a diameter there. These are about $60 for a pair of two from Helmet Carts Australia. I'll link the shop in the description. This is the brake disc and brake rotor carrier. Thing about this one is it came and didn't exactly line up with the rotor carrier. So instead of sending it back and asking them to remachine it, we just kind of opened up the diameter of the holes here so that we could fit 3 in. And we got 3 out of 4 bolts in, which is probably better than none, eh? So that's the best we could do there. This has our wheel rotor carriers, which will be hooking up to the wheels. And then the hub adapters, which go onto the rotor carriers and then go direct to the wheels. So that's very nice. The grand finale, this is the, I think, 1100mm long, 30mm in diameter solid axle, full keyway. So we can customize where we put our sprocket and disc brake. So that's it there. I'm just gonna chuck it together and mock up our wheels onto it. See how she looks. Alrighty guys, so using an old motor we have, it's just the exact same base. I can get all 4 bolts in that I've drilled holes for, using my system of hand drawing the lines. And I got 2 bolts over there holding it down to the base, and this stud going through the engine here is going through the base as well, so I'm going to use that as a one of the mounting bolts for the plate. And then this here in this little groove will be a mounting bolt for the plate as well. Alrighty guys, so I've successfully made an engine mount, and now we move on to the next thing that is caused by... So the next thing is putting that torque converter in. As you can see, I've already started doing some like panel beating here to try and be able to fit the torque converter in. I've discovered I need to cut down here and bend that one back so that both of the pulleys can fit in. And I may have to bash this in to allow for a pulley to fit in here. But we'll just get that done and you'll catch back up then. We've got our fully mounted torque converter. As you can see, I did some beating down here to get rid of any of that excess material. We got a spinning pulley now with enough room for our belt. We're now just gonna move on to mounting that axle, you know, drilling the holes for it, getting those bearings in, which might be a bit of a tussle, so I'll catch up with you after I finish that job. Here we are guys, massive struggle to get this one in, but finally found a way to get it mounted in with a trip to National Nuts and Bolts. Got a nice new fasteners on it, nylock bolts and all. And now we're just moving on to mocking up where our chain's going to run through here so we can get our sprocket mounted. Righto guys, so as you can see, we've come a while from when we last spoke, but we've got our chain and all of our sprocket and everything set up. Dan and I rigged up a chain tensioner in here, so now our chain is nice and tight and won't be flapping against steel, which is terrific. We got it propped up, so I'm just going to put a bit of fuel in it.
Sicker than your average. Pop a twist cabbage off instinct. Niggas don't think shit. Still my Detroit Detroit players. Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn. Dead right, if the head right, Biggie there, and night. Papa been smooth since days of under rules. Never lose, never choose to. Bruise, cruise, who? Do something to us. Talk, go through us. Girls want to us, wanna do us, screw us. Who us? Yeah, Papa and Pump. Close like Starsky.